NZ Aerosports, Icarus Canopies, now Gyro. That's right, we've rebranded, and Gyro is our next generation. It honours our founder, as that's the name we knew him by, but Gyro also marks the start of a new chapter. And not to be biased, but it's going to be fucking epic. Long story short, we're more us than ever, so if you're new to the sport, or even a Sky God Ninja Turtle, welcome. I think our valiant leader Lucy, Gyro's daughter, says it best.
And we still got that fuck yeah attitude. Rebrand! Woo!
Rebrand woo indeed, Lucy. Anyway, head over to gyro.com for more info and get amongst you legends.
I was 19, broke, unemployed, and sold my girlfriend's canopy for drug money. So I thought I better sew her a new one. What a sentence, and what a story. This describes the humble yet outrageous beginnings of NZ Aerosports, the home of Icarus Canopies, in the words of our founder himself. From getting a paratrooper toy from his mom, watching parachutes at the DZ as a 6-year-old, jumping off the wharf with a parachute made from bed sheets, doing his first jump at 16, sewing his first canopy on a borrowed machine at 19, and starting to sell parachutes out of a garage in 1986, Paul Gyro Martin had an undying love for the sky. Our company started with one man with the wildest of spirits and a true blue sky dream, a renegade. In the time that Gyro created and ran the Icarus Canopies brand until he passed away in 2017, he pushed everything he had to its limits. We miss him, and we always will. Gyro is the next generation of NZ Aerosports. It honors our founder, of course, because it was the name we all knew him by, but Gyro the rebrand also marks the start of a new chapter, our next jump. Gyro is the space between sound and silence, art and science, chaos and calm. Gyro is a state of epic tranquility that transcends understanding. That moment, in the door, in free fall, mid-swoop, where nothing but the present exists. A perfect balance of euphoria and thrill. Gyro captures our passion for flying and our commitment to designing break-the-fucking-rules canopies that deliver pilots pure, wild flight. Hey gang, so I got a new book out. It's called The Upside of Fear, and it's exactly what you think it's about. It's about the good side of, well, getting scared. In it, we talk not only about the science and biology behind fear, but the psychology as well. And it's not just coming from me, it's coming from some of the best in the sport. Omar Alhigelan, Jeff Provenzano, Maxine Tate, and so many more have contributed their sometimes terrifying stories to the book to help you overcome your fear. So head to the lunaticfringepodcast.com. You're going to find the link to the book there, as well as the other books. It's available in ebook, paperback, hardback, and audiobook right now.
Coming straight from the cockpit, it's another episode of Lunatic Fringe with the fucking pilot.
Ready, set, go! Back in the can for another edition of the Lunatic Fringe podcast, and someone's suffering through not quite enough cold right now, but hoping it gets colder. Who the fuck are you? What do you do?
My name is Grant Bowen. Right now, I am a salesman or project manager for a foundation company, and then I'm a tandem instructor, AFF, and coach on the weekends.
So you got like a real life as well?
Yeah, I got a real life outside of here, so I had to book some time to make sure they didn't schedule me any evaluations this morning. So I took the morning off, and then gonna go up and go hit an evaluation after I get done.
You know, it's kind of funny. I was going to ask you because when we were trying to coordinate this and get everything set up, you were saying, I got a bunch of, evaluations to do. And I'm thinking, how many fucking ratings is this guy getting? Because I assumed it was jumping. You know, my mind is too locked into skydiving.
Yeah.
So
no, it's real job is I do foundation repairs. So I'm a project manager for that. I started out as an installation tech. My best friend called me when I was unemployed, asked if I wanted a job. I relocated from Illinois down to Kentucky. So now I've been down here for almost 2 years now, and I've been a project manager for a year. So going out bidding all the jobs and then hopefully winning the jobs and then getting work for the crews.
So now this is what, foundations for like homes and businesses and stuff like that?
Yes, correct. So slab foundations, crawl spaces, basements, you name it, we do it.
Man, I mean, I suppose that's got to be a pretty lucrative business, especially as Mother Nature fucking wreaks havoc all around the United States. You guys must be doing a lot of work.
We do a lot. Last month I sold 100 and almost 23,000 in foundation repair, so that was a good month for me.
Fucking hell.
This month we're starting out a little slow, but that's okay. It's Christmas time, so everyone's trying to spend accordingly. And unfortunate evaluation I went to the other day, I got there and their septic tank was backed up, so
Oh,
ended up having to deal with that. But we'll wait for them to get that fixed, and then we'll move on with the work that we need to get done.
oh yeah. No, no, waiting around through shit doesn't sound like a great day to me.
No, absolutely. I don't wait around through shit. If it does smell like septic in there, I will not go in there. I will tell them, hey, get this cleaned out, and then I'll be back.
Good man. Good man.
Yeah,
So,
some of the stuff that you see in crawl spaces is gnarly. I find a lot of danger needles, aka snakes. Nothing crazy yet. My coworkers did find a 4 foot cottonmouth, and they had a fun day.
nice. No, Jeffrey Dahmer stash crawl spaces or anything yet?
No, unfortunately, not yet.
I was gonna say, are you waiting for it? Are you like ready for that?
I'm waiting to find something crazy. I have found dead animals underneath there: cats, dogs, birds, raccoons, possums.
I mean, there's
So,
no fucking way in hell if I had that job that I wouldn't have instantly flashed back to every fucked up horror movie I've ever seen where all the bodies are buried in the basement. Every fucking time I was down there, I'd be like, all right, this is the one.
no, nothing too shocking yet. I've been doing into a few that I'm like, oh, I probably shouldn't be in here, but I got to get the job done, so that way they know what they need to get done, and
Yeah.
then normally it works out in my favor because I'm showing them everything that's happening in the crawl space.
Oh, fair enough.
Oh yeah,
Well,
nothing too wild, but a lot of dead animals.
well, yeah, I mean, fair enough. It's a nice, warm, safe space for them, I'm sure.
Something like that. Sure, we'll go with
So we'll
that.
get more into how you balance the real world and the skydiving world, but I want to talk about how you got started, not necessarily in skydiving, but in anything extreme.
As a kid, I was always doing crazy stuff at the house, climbing on top of the kitchen table and then yelling for my mom to come take a look and then jumping off of it. So it started at probably 9 months, I would say, is what my mother reminds me of how crazy I was and always getting into trouble then. So,
So full send off the kitchen table.
mhm. Oh,
So
absolutely.
I mean, I did the same kind of thing, I guess, because as soon as I was old enough, I was climbing up on the roof of our single story house and jumping into the pine tree that was next to it. And, you're too young to know that that's just fucking stupid. Now I think twice before I step off a steep curb too fast.
I'm right there with you on the
Fuck.
steep curve because I was at a wedding reception and that's how I tore all the ligaments in my ankles. So that was a
Oh,
fantastic day down in Mexico. Man, it was beautiful. But talking about houses, our neighbor had a trampoline that was right next to the roof of their house. So we would jump off the house onto the trampoline, or we would jump off the house and then land on the yard. So
yeah. Yeah. I
always
mean,
doing dumb stuff.
it sounds like we had a similar childhood. I mean, there are multiple times that I would hit the home built bicycle ramp in the middle of
Oh yes.
in the middle of the street, and you'd be at the apex of the jump with you on one side and your bike about 5 feet over going, fuck me. And you had a lot of time to think about how bad it was going to be.
Yeah, that's how I got my first concussion. I was riding through our town, and they had decommissioned the old railroad bridge. Well, there was two paths, and I took option A, which should have been really option B. Option A was railroad ties and going too fast and face planting in the concrete at the bottom.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Don't remember the car ride. Don't remember being anywhere. My mom told me that I kept asking to be inside while I was inside, so no
I,
recollection.
I mean, they make for good stories though, right?
It sure does. It makes for great emergency room stories, and I became friends with all the nurses at the ER because I was there often.
Well, yeah, there you go. So now what did that lead into as you got older? Did it take you into any specific sports or still just kind of doing wild, crazy things with friends?
Just doing wild and crazy things. I considered getting a motorcycle, but then I considered if I do that, I'm going to end up killing myself a whole lot sooner. So we for when we passed on that, and then just doing crazy shit, and then trying to figure out oh, that was probably a bad idea later on looking back at it, but it worked out. I'm still here. Haven't died yet.
Well, I
So
mean, the
maybe-
fact that you passed on the motorcycle thing shows that you've got a little bit of common sense there, because I didn't pass on the motorcycle thing and I have multiple broken bones to thank for it.
yeah. The motorcycle, like it looked extremely fun and fast, but then I was like, everyone else is out on the roads are idiots. They don't know how to fucking drive.
Yep.
And I would be hauling ass and some dumb fuck would pull out in front of me. So next thing you know, I'm in the back windshield and it's game over.
Oh yeah, man. No, I've laid it down a few times on no contact accidents because some asshole pulled out in front of me and that was the only choice that I had. But I decided to sell off my last bike when I was living in Vegas, and I would ride from one side of Vegas up to Boulder City every day to go to the drop zone. It was a 45-minute one-way ride, and I'd have a near-death experience on every fucking ride. Every single ride, something would almost happen. And it dawned on me that I was so much more at risk just trying to get to the airplane to go jump out of it. And that's when I
Mm-hmm.
was like, you know something, I should probably ditch the two wheels if I'm going to keep jumping out of planes.
No, absolutely. And that's what I always tell my tandem customers. It's actually safer to jump out of an airplane than it is to drive to the drop zone. So you have
Oh
a
yeah.
higher probability of dying while you're on your way to the drop zone than you do jumping out of a plane.
Oh,
And they don't
absolutely.
look at me crazy. And I'm like, it's the facts.
You know, it's funny too because you get to have a little bit of fun with the tandem students, regardless. I mean, I used to love it when my tandem students would ask the silly questions like, "So we couldn't actually die?" You know, they've just done all the paperwork and they've done all that. Yeah, but that doesn't happen, right? And I always took a slightly morbid pleasure in looking them right in the eyes and going, "Oh no, we could absolutely die. This might be the last thing you ever do. Let's go have fun."
Oh, absolutely. I always love to tell them if I tell you to take a really deep breath, hold it. You're going to be my airbag.
Yeah.
And they look at me like, what? I'm like, it works out.
It's all that the tandem humor that either people love or they fucking hate.
Yeah, it's normally you can read your customer on who's going to love it and who's going to hate it. So, like, we try to play like, how much tandem humor do we play into the game? And otherwise, we just leave it be. And we have either a very silent ride up to altitude or a really fun ride up to altitude.
Yeah, oh yeah. You know what? It was funny because in my early days doing tandems, you didn't have that sixth sense of when you should lay off, and we would just go into our routines every fucking load, and we were having a blast. But you know, the first few hundred tandems, when I was telling those jokes more to keep myself from getting scared than them, you know, I probably did a great disservice to a few of those students.
Yeah, some of those students, they're not leaving scared shitless, but they're scared shitless.
Yeah, for sure. So, how did skydiving enter your life and when?
So I was talking. I've always wanted to do it. I was talking to a girl. We'd been on a few dates, and she was at Costco and found a Costco deal for $99 tandems.
Oh, Costco deal.
So, yeah, Costco deal. I was like, hell yeah. So she, she hit me up. I said, sweet, let's do it. So we got it booked. Ended up getting to the drop zone and waited around about 5.5 hours for weather. So while I was there, I started looking and talking to everyone, trying to figure out about, you know, skydiving. You know, oh, this is actually a job. You can actually do this. Like, hell yeah, let's like start learning more about it.
All right.
Just started talking to everyone. Did my first tandem. I stayed. She left. I did a second jump that day. Went and partied with everyone at the drop zone, and then slept in my car and did a third jump on the following Sunday.
Oh, holy shit.
Yeah, so it was balls to the wall.
Off of well, first off, Costco.
Yeah,
I mean, I know they fucking sell everything, but tandems?
yeah. They, I guess they had a little short, limited run trying to like move product. I don't really know how they got it for $99, but they got it for $99. They probably ate the back end of the cost. And they were
I
just
mean,
trying to get the name out there. I don't have a Costco membership. She did. She told me about it. So I was like, hell yeah, let's fucking go.
that's not a bad idea because I mean, for Christ's sakes, there's a lot of people that go through Costco on any given day.
Mhm.
So, I mean, what a stellar way to advertise if you've got that option. I just had never heard of that before. That's cool.
Yeah, neither did I until she told me about it. And then I told everyone at the drop zone, they're like, Costco? I was like, I have no idea. She found them. And they all just looked at her and she's like, they were there. So we went.
Nice. So,
Worked out really, really well for me.
I mean, obviously, if you slept overnight in your car and did a jump the next day, you were pretty hooked from the get-go.
Correct. After I landed from my first jump, they had a return voucher. My most expensive jump was my second jump at 159 because it was a return tandem rate. and then did that, landed from that. I remember my instructor, because it was like the category B, making sure that I was ready to go to AFF. He says,
Right.
"Don't fuck up," and definitely didn't fuck up. Pulled the parachute and saved her life. So it was a good day. And
So
then
how
landed, go ahead.
I was going to say, how quickly did that all lead into you going into your course?
So from the time I landed to me leaving Sunday, I'd already signed up for the first jump course, which was 2 weeks away.
Nice. So you were just all in right away.
Mm-hmm. Thank God
So
for a credit card.
now, what was the real life like at that time? Like, what were you doing outside of becoming a skydiver?
So at that time, I was a process engineer for a medical device company up in Illinois, doing injection molding, running machines, doing kaizens and other stuff to improve quality and throughput.
Okay, cool. Now, I always ask because I'm always interested, especially for people that have their lives so well rooted in the real world. What did the family think when this well-established young man who's like got a stable job decides I'm gonna sleep in my fucking car so I can go keep jumping out of airplanes? Like, what did mom and dad and the family think?
Mom was fine with it because I used to travel with the Purdue volleyball team, like because my buddy and I started the block party, which is the student section. So him and I went to every Big Ten school. So we're used to sleeping in the car. My mom was fine with it. She was just more worried that something was going to happen because I would text her in the morning and then never text her after I landed until the very end of the day. So she would get pissed and she's like, "Hey, don't tell me anything about it." Like, once you land at the end of the day, give me a call or a text. And now she's super fine with it. They'll come out and visit me at the drop zones every once in a while.
Nice. Yeah, it
It's still
was what was the old saying? It's better to ask forgiveness than permission. And my mom was kind of the same in that she was cool when I first kind of started, and then I got into it and she wasn't quite so cool. And then it became a just let me know after you've had a good day of jumping. I don't need to sit around wondering what the fuck's going on if you're
yeah,
out jumping all day. But then of course, and you would have hit this as well. You hit that point where you're so into it that they just kind of have to deal with it. Like it's not a
yeah,
fad anymore. It's like, oh fuck, this is what he does. Shit.
yeah. My parents are used to that. They're always used to me doing dumb shit and crazy things. So this was no surprise to them. They're like, we were just curious on when it was going to happen, not how.
Sure. Now,
So it ended up happening about 6 years ago. Got in the sport. Been in the sport for about 6.5 years now.
what happened to the girl that you went out with that first time?
Uh, we stopped talking after that. Never talked to her since. So I stayed and partied with everyone. She invited her best friend as well. So they were talking about her best friend's wedding, which I didn't give a fuck about. Sorry, but
Yeah, fair enough.
I was
Well,
bored.
and I mean, I think well, you would have learned that very first night. The most attractive part of skydiving to me, as cool as the jumping was the community and the shit people
Mhm.
got up to well after the jumping was done.
Oh, absolutely. Stayed, hung out, partied with everyone, and then I ran into my first tandem instructor that took me up, and then he's like, "You love it so much, I'll take you on a third tandem tomorrow." So I got the friends and family discount, which was fantastic. Thank you, Tim
Awesome.
Copen. So got that, and then I've been hooked ever since.
You know, it's kind of one of those things, right? As soon as, especially as an established skydiver, when you see somebody that's got that spark, and
Mhm.
it's undeniable. You can see it from a fucking mile away. You can see it before somebody's made a first jump, and you can sure as shit see it after they've made that jump. When you see that, if you have the opportunity to help light that fire a little bit more, I don't know any jumpers that don't.
Yeah, and Tim was super awesome about it. He gave me the friends and family, and then he was my mentor for a while, helping me out. Any questions that I had, and then I asked him like about his journey, and he's been in the sport for quite a while, and he's a little bit shorter than me, and about in his 60s when he took me. So that's fucking badass that he's been in the sport like over 20 plus years,
Yeah.
still doing what he loves on the weekends.
Yeah, man. I'll tell you, I've talked to many, many people on the show and off the show about it. Skydiving is one of the only sports I know that can be a lifelong sport as long as you take care
Mhm.
of yourself.
Yeah, I don't know if you ever met Sky Kaminsky, but D354, he'll make sure to tell you about it. I was at a boogie one time, ran into him, and man, the stories that he told me and the experiences, it was fantastic.
Oh
So
yeah, man. I mean, that was
he's 80.
what's that?
He's 80 years old now too. So, and he's
I
still
mean,
jumping.
you have to love it. That's like Lou Sanborn, licensed D1,
Mhm.
man. The very first video I ever shot, literally the first skydiving video I ever shot was a four-way with my buddy Kevin Love, the owner of the Flyaway Tunnel, Juliana C, who is this four-way belly rock star, and fucking Lou Sanborn. Or
Oh, that's fucking badass.
jump number one. It was
Don't fuck
ridiculous.
up.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. Although it's funny, right? Because skydiving has so many generations in it that back then I didn't know from who the fuck he was. He was just this older guy that was like stoked to have somebody shooting a video of this jump. And then it was after the fact that my buddy Kevin is like, "Do you know who that is?" And I'm like, "I don't have a fucking clue who that is." He's like, "That's licensed D1." Now that hooked. Lou
Yeah.
Sanborn, the name at that time didn't mean anything, but D1 sure as fuck did. Because I don't even remember my A number, but I mean, my D license is D24191.
Okay.
So, and I've been in this sport coming up on 30 fucking years, you
Yeah.
know. So license D1 is a big goddamn deal. And last I heard, I don't know when Lou's last jump was, but it wasn't that long ago.
I don't think no. I haven't been keeping up with him, but that's fucking nuts.
Oh, dude, it's amazing. I mean, it really is. It's a sport where it is very easy to jump with the youngest and newest of the sport on one
Mhm.
load, and then jump with somebody fucking three or four skydiving generations back that's still doing it.
Oh, absolutely. And those are the fun jumps because I like to take it to the basement and they don't give a fuck.
No,
They're
I
like, what are we
know.
breaking at? I'm like, 4 or 5. They're like, what about 3 5? I'm like, okay, here we go. Let's fucking go. Like, I know
Well,
everything's gonna work out. And they're all like pulling out like 2 5. I'm like, what the fuck?
yeah. Oh, I remember all the stories, and I suppose it was just kind of coming to an end as I was coming up in the sport. But you'd have the guys that would be training hardcore on four way. That their mentality was, I'd rather fucking go in than miss that last point, and they're like breaking off at 2,000 feet and just mental shit. I mean, now
Jesus.
and nowadays with the canopies that a lot of people are flying. If you dumped at 2,000 feet, you're going to be lucky to snivel out in enough time to flare.
Yeah, you're gonna be right in the dirt, unfortunately, that line
Oh
stretch,
yeah, man.
which is
I
gonna be
uh,
rough.
I very quickly adopted the mentality that I can get more altitude on my next fucking exit.
Correct. Absolutely. I like that. That's a very good
Yeah,
note.
man. I don't need more exit on this sky or more altitude on this skydive. I'll get it on the next one. That's fine.
Yeah, no shit. Because it depends on how you pack. Because your canopy can open in, 500 feet, and it could be a slammer, or it could be like 1,500 feet, depending on which tandem canopy you're jumping. So,
Oh yeah, man. And I've had enough fucking bangers in my life that I am happy with just an all day long snivel, man. I would rather have it long and soft than short and hard any day of the week.
oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
Well, the last time I got rocked on an open, and I actually took time on packing it properly, made sure everything looked nice, and got fucking rocked. And then,
That was your mistake.
correct, it was. I did it at home, so I had time to like focus on it. Normally, it's just throw it in the bag and go. And yeah, it bit me in the ass.
Yep, yep, as it will. I've packed myself a few bangers, luckily not too many, but knock wood, I've still never actually packed a malfunction. So,
Neither have I, shockingly. I've
yep,
had 3 malfunctions, not by my doing, all by Packers. So we're
yep,
still going strong. And the funny thing is I hate packing, but I can teach you how to pack, and it's super easy.
sure. I
But
well, I got rocked. Actually, I've ended up having a couple of surgeries on my neck from too many years of abuse and camera helmets.
mhm.
But there was one particular jump that I actually blew up a stiletto 120, like top and bottom skin, massive hole. And it was the packing mat that did it, and that was the last pack job I jumped from anybody else outside of
Yeah,
tandems. Obviously, you're not going to pack your own tandems. But it
no.
was the last sport pack job anybody packed for me.
Yeah, I was pissed at myself because I had my full camera helmet on. It was on a video jump for working, and it was the second jump of the day. Got fucking rocked.
Yeah.
Like the video's gnarly. It's fantastic. Like you watch my feet come up above my head, and I'm like,
Yep.
that was a fast opening. And I'm like, I looked up. I thought the canopy was going to be shredded, at least something. Fuck no, it was good.
Oh man, mine was the same thing. You hear me just grunt super loud. You see my feet fly up in front of me, but I was jumping an old DV mini DV tape camera.
Hmm.
And when those things would get rocked too hard, they'd actually skip. And I was recording over old videos, and so when it skips for like 2 frames, you just see a flash of my buddy's face right in the camera, kind of like saying "fuck you" as it slammed me.
Oh, Jesus.
Oh, and then I look up and it's just blue sky through the middle of the parachute. Like it was fucking bad. So
That's a bad day.
that's when I went, you know something, I can't blame the packing mat. They're just doing their job. They're trying to get it done and shit happens. So if it ever happens again, I want no one else to get mad at because they don't
Mhm.
deserve it.
Yeah, it's you pay for a pack job, not an opening, is how I always look at it. And
Oh yeah. I remember
whatever.
watching some guy in Paris Valley when I was first starting out. I don't know if he got packed a malfunction or just a slammer, but he marches back up to the packing mat and throws his rig down and he's giving shit to the packer. And the packer, calm as day, is just smiling up at him, going, "Dude, you paid $3 for that. What the fuck do you want?"
Shit, yeah.
Yeah, man. So
My,
before we get too sidetracked, you get into jumping, you fall in love with it, but how did you start aiming towards what you're doing now? Did you immediately know you wanted to get into trying to work in the sport and instructing, or were you just a weekend warrior fun jumper to start?
I was a weekend warrior, but I knew I wanted to get in the sport. I have really good recall from officiating college basketball for the past 8 seasons. So I'm able to recall the whole skydive. So that worked out really well for me. At 100 jumps, or well, actually 115 jumps, I went and got my coach rating. Got that knocked out, and then started coaching then, and then working my way up through the sport. I knew I wanted to have my tandem rating in 3 years and at 500 jumps. I snuck right in through a tandem course that was 2 weeks after my 3 years in the sport, and I had my 500, so it worked out perfect. And then I got my AFFI right at 6 years in the sport, or 6 hours of free fall in the sport, and then it was about 360 skydives. So about 2 years in the sport when I got my AFFI rating.
Okay. Now, what
Because
was
I
the
had my
draw to what was the draw to getting your tandem rating so early? Because for me personally, I fought getting that tooth and nail.
um, it was more to have another means to pay for the skydiving because it gets costly quickly. And that's the shitty fucking part because it's like credit card, swipe, perfect. All right, we'll figure that out later. And then once you're able to work in the sport, you get paid for it. So then you can go pay for your fun jumps, which works out better.
Yeah, yeah. Well, for me, as much as I fought being a tandem instructor, looking back on it now, if you asked me my favorite way to skydive, oddly enough, it's tandems. Like
Mhm.
I was good at it. I wasn't the best tandem instructor in the world, but I was very competent and I was very safe, and I enjoyed the interaction with the students. The
Oh,
good ones and the
absolutely.
bad ones, man. It was just you never fucking knew what you were gonna get, right? The whole life is like a box of chocolates, but this box might kill you.
And that's the truth because big guys, they're easy to get out the door. It's the small people
Oh
that
yeah,
fuck you.
yeah,
I still remember the first one because normally when you come out of the plane, the students always roll you to the left out of the door. So all right, cool. I remember the first student that rolled me to the right, and I went underneath the belly and then looked back up, and I was like, oh fuck, this is
yeah,
not where we should be, but here we are. Let's figure it out.
yeah.
And it was a small person, probably no more than 5'2", buck 15, buck 20 at max.
Yep, yep. You're the red part of the badminton birdie at that point.
Mhm.
You're only going one fucking way, man. That rig wants to be the first one down.
Yeah, it was fun. It was on video too, so it worked out perfect. Got some pointers, got some tips and tricks on that, and then been working on exits ever since. Now exiting a king air doesn't really fucking matter because you're going so damn fast.
Sure, sure.
It's a fun exit.
Yeah, actually, I haven't done too many King Air exits, and the first King Air exit I ever did was in a King Air that John Eddowes had just gotten in Cross Keys, and oddly enough, he wasn't a King Air pilot. He like got a little instruction from a King Air pilot on what to do, and off we go. Well, unbeknownst to us, they hadn't disarmed the gear horn. So when he got up to altitude and he put the gear down and the flaps down, um, to get on jump run, what he heard was the horn, and the horn was for the gear. So he thought he was stalling. So he starts nosing it over to build speed because he thinks he's stalling, and he keeps nosing it over and getting faster and faster and kicks on the green light. And out the door I roll and get the shit kicked out of me in this tandem. I mean, we must have been doing 110, 115 at least. And tumble, 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 and finally get the drogue out, and I'm like, what the fuck? And I land, and it happened to be a shutdown load, and John walks up to me like 10 or 15 minutes after we had landed, and he's all, "That's pretty fast exit, huh?" I'm like, yeah, what the fuck? He's all, "Well, I got a little story for you."
Oh shit.
So
Those are
that's
always
my
the best.
yeah, that's my first tandem King Air exit. Was a real fucking eye opener.
Yeah, I was gonna say we're always doing like exit separations normally about 5 seconds because we're doing about 100 to 110 knots, and it's whatever. It
Yeah,
works out perfect because you're always belly to earth and you don't have to worry about it.
yeah, for sure. Yeah, no, I wasn't. I tumbled, but it was still fun.
It's always
So
a blast.
so you get your tandem rating, and then you go on to get your AFF rating. So clearly, you were making money with it, but you must have found some enjoyment in the student aspect of things as well.
Yeah, so actually I got my AFF rating first. I got my AFF rating at 2.5 years in the sport, 6 hours of free fall time. I was about 360 jumps is when I got that.
Oh wow.
So I was the greenest person in the course, rocked everything, had fun with it, and then started. I love teaching, and I've always loved teaching. Like during basketball seasons, I would always go mentor newer officials. So giving back to the community, always helping officials break down video, helping them learn, and keeping them, up to date on what's going on. So then once I got into skydiving, and I was like, oh, there's a teaching aspect of it. It worked out perfect because now I'm able to give back and help grow the sport.
Sure. Sure. Now, I mean, obviously, between AFF and then doing tandems, did that leave a lot of time for the fun jump side of things?
At first it did because I was also an organizer, so organizing jumps on the weekend, so I could block out my schedule. So this whole weekend I'll be organizing, whoever wants to come out and jump, and then I did more tandems than AFF up front, but now I'm doing more. It's a really good mix now.
Nice. Nice. Well, so from everything I've seen, you obviously stay pretty busy with the jumping aspect of everything, but that gets me back to how you balance the real world and the jumping, because you've obviously got a very busy gig during the week. So I'm
Mhm.
guessing you don't have a whole lot of free time.
No, not really. If I want to be free on a weekend, I'll take a weekend off. But normally during the season, I'm working 7 days a week. Get off from my rail drive down to the drop zone, sleep on one of their couches, which is fantastic, and then come back home on Sunday.
Yeah, I definitely know that, man. I've done both, and it can be exhilarating and fucking exhausting as well. I mean, there's more loads to altitude than I can count that I was just barely awake.
Oh yeah, take that nap on the altitude, and then wake up when it's time to do your job, and then get down and repeat, and just keep going.
Oh, dude, the greatest slot in the world in the drop zone that I did that most in was at Skydive Las Vegas up in Boulder City. And during the week, we were flying a 206. And the best slot in the world would be second tandem out because you're sitting with your back against the pilot seat, your
Hmm.
student's facing the tail, nobody can see your face, you just out cold, and then you automatically every 3 to 5 minutes or so wake up and go, "Hey, how you doing?" Stick your thumb up in front of their face.
Yeah,
Which, I mean, I suppose it's a horrible thing to say, but it's also just kind of how it is, right? I mean, if you're a
Mhm.
full-time working skydiver, you've taken a fucking nap in a plane more than once.
Oh, absolutely. And the 206 takes a little bit of time to get to altitude. It's not like the King Air where you're there in 10 minutes.
Oh yeah, dude. Summertime in Las Vegas, the 206 was 45 minutes minimum, and that was getting to 8 or 9,000 feet.
Damn.
Yeah, yeah.
So you have plenty of time to
Brutal.
take a nap.
Yeah, fucking brutal. Yeah, we had some guys that'd read a book and or take a nap, and every once in a while you'd end up wired up on coffee, and you'd sit there going, "Fuck, this is boring."
It was so funny because I started out as a turbine baby. So I was always used to turbines, never jumped the 182. Went to Skydive Grand Haven, and they had a Navajo. So we were jumping Navajo all day, and then there was like 3 jumpers left, and like, we want to go do a hop and pop. I'm like, sure. Like, what are we getting out of? Like a 182. I was like, what the fuck's that? They're like, oh yeah, you'll be fine. Just be strong getting out the door. Well, never experienced prop wash. Never had any idea what the fuck any of that was. So I'm going to climb out. I'm like, fuck this shit. I was like, this is ridiculous. I was like, this is dumb.
Yeah, I ended up, I think the first, I mean, we would take a trip from Vegas down to Paris Valley every once in a while, but it was about a
Mhm.
2 hour drive to get out of a turbine. And they had an otter in Las Vegas, but it only flew on weekends. And at least when I first started out, weekends weren't available for me to go jump. So I
Yeah.
was absolutely on the monkey bars, man. It was 206s all day long, climbing out on the strut. I mean, I remember on my first jump, I was the second tandem out, and my girlfriend at the time was the first. And her cameraman was a guy that became a good friend of mine by the name of Kurt Issel. And I watched him climb out, grab the step, and hang off the fucking tire, waiting for the tandem to get out. And I remember looking out, and I'm watching the tandem instructor and my girlfriend climbing out, and I look down, and there's this guy hanging off the tire, and I'm like, these people are fucking nuts. And then, of course, it dawns on me, oh shit, I'm next.
And that's the funny thing. Like, you'll be watching people's exits, and then you forget. You're like, oh fuck, I gotta go. It's my turn.
Yep. Yeah, absolutely. Although it's really weird the things that you get used to. I mean, a lot of people, obviously, the door monster is a very real thing for a
Mhm.
lot of people. And I never really had a bad case of the door monster, but it definitely tapped me on the shoulder a few times. Um, but now, of course, you don't think twice about it. I remember I had been jumping for many years when I got back into flying, and during flight instruction, flying in a low wing Piper, I was sitting in the left hand seat and my instructor's sitting in the right hand seat, and the cargo door in the back blows open, and he's like losing his shit. But by then I'd had years of doors opening in flight. So I'm like, he's like, we'll go back and we can let the tower know. And I'm like, dude, it closes from the inside. Hang on just a second. Didn't even ask him. Took my headset off, unclipped the seatbelt, climbed into the back seat, fucking reached out, grabbed the door and closed it, then got back in the seat. His eyes are fucking, just fucking as wide as can be, and his jaw's on the ground. And I'm like, what? Let's keep going. And I'm like, dude, I jump out of these fucking things. Come
Yeah,
on.
no shit. That's fantastic. That sounds like a fun story.
It was, I mean, it was really fun. And of course, then after the fact, I ended up going and getting my multi-engine, and I was flying the Pac 750 by then, and took him out and got to take him up in the Pac 750. And I'm like, here you go. This is why that door didn't bother me a bit. And he's like,
Yeah,
oh, I get it now. I get it. I'm like, yeah.
yeah. You fly down the whole time with the door open anyway, so
Yeah,
it's
yeah, yeah.
nothing.
I'm like, it's not a big deal when you're flying at a 206 and people are climbing out and they've got their hands on your shoulder as they're getting ready to leave. You're like, yeah, man, this is nothing.
The best things about the 206 is when you have a four-way trying to leave before you and you're full, and normally someone always falls off, so the
Yep.
group just leaves randomly. It's the best. I
Yeah.
love sitting back there as a tandem instructor watching, sticking my head out just a little bit. Then you see someone slip or they fall off, and they're like,
Oh, it's hilarious.
"Oh,
Although as a tandem instructor, the tallest person I ever took and the heaviest person I ever took were both out of a 182 over Paihia, New Zealand. And I'll tell
oof,
you what, man, I don't recommend either. The
no."
the guy I took, he wasn't 7 foot. I think he was 6'11", um, like dramatically taller than me. He was actually a member of the U.S. rowing team the year the Winklevoss brothers competed. Like he was on that team. This massive guy, and I've got a great picture of me standing next to him. He's like a solid foot and a half taller than the van that we
Mhm.
drove to the drop zone in. And if he lifted his arm up, my head would tuck into his armpit comfortably. He was that much fucking taller than me. Um, and the heaviest person, I won't go into details, but suffice it to say, uh, this person was wider than she was tall.
Mhm.
It- there wasn't a scale available at the drop zone. Let's just put it that way.
Understood.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Both of them out of a 182. I don't recommend that.
Oh, well, I've done one tandem out of a 182, and I about got stuck in the door trying to get myself out because it was
It's
tight.
it's a choreographed routine, man. It really is. And that's
Mhm.
where I learned the biggest lesson I ever learned in skydiving that fits in every part of it was Fix everything you can on the ground, not in the
Hmm.
air. So teach the fuck out of your students. This is what we're going to do. This is how you're going to do it. This is what you're not going to do. And over and over and over again. I mean, that's where I learn, I mean, pre-flight, 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 whether it's
Yep.
your gear or your student.
Yep. Proper
That's,
preparation leads to a great skydive. And
oh yeah,
if
man.
you get it knocked out on the ground, then you're going to have a great skydive. If you're trying to fiddle fuck with it in the sky, it's normally going to go bad.
Oh yeah. Well, and it also leaves you very well prepared for when shit does go sideways because everything
Hmm.
else has been good. So you instantly know, okay, we got an issue,
Yep.
which is nice.
It was like my first cutaway ever. I had 110 jumps. As soon as the canopy left my back, I knew something was wrong with it, but what was wrong, I had no idea yet. I look up, had a nice bow tie in the center cell, pretty much. Thank you, Packer.
Yep.
And first cutaway, everyone's like, "You okay? You okay?" I was like, "Yeah, that was fun. Let's go do it again." Like,
Yep.
it's
Yep.
just another day in the office.
Yeah, man. I had my first cutaway when I had 27 jumps and I ended up with 7 total. And the last few that I had were all tandem cutaways,
Mhm.
and I must admit to getting a perverse sense of joy out of them because especially with tandems, after a while, it's just maybe there's a line twist, but it's very predictable, and so when you have
Yes.
that one that you're like, fuck, I gotta cut away. You're like,
Hmm.
you're not scared, you're fucking excited. You're like, all right, something different. Here we go.
Yeah, and that was my first tandem cutaway. I was like, it happened, it came out. I'm like, something's off. So I'm
Yep.
like trying to pop it, trying to get it out of the bag. Finally came out of the bag. I'm like, sweet, everything's starting to work out. And then I went into line twist. I'm like, okay, not a big deal. Just, kick out of those, kicked out of that. And then it went back into line twist the opposite direction and put us on our back. I was like, yeah, we're done.
Yep. Yep. It's funny, isn't it? I mean, maybe I'm reading too much into a faulty memory, but every time I had a cutaway, you almost knew it was coming as it came off your back. Like
Mhm.
it's amazing once you're into it and once you're vibing with your equipment that it tells you from the beginning, hey, I'm gonna fuck you up now.
Oh, yeah,
It,
exactly. And that was like my first cutaway. Like as soon as it left my back, I knew it was fucked.
yep,
My second cutaway, same thing. As soon as it came out, I was like, yeah, that one's done.
yep.
And my tandem cutaway, same thing. It came off my back. I was like, this doesn't seem right. And then it wasn't.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, I've had openings that have spun me up into line twist that practically put my chin to my chest, but I knew I was okay. Like,
Mhm.
all right, no, I'm looking down, spinning, going, all right, I know I'm spinning out of them. I'm flying straight and level. I'm good. I'm gonna get out of this. So there's probably fucking 2 or 3 dozen that I could have legitimately chopped, but I just knew I could get out of them. And then
Oh,
there's
yeah.
those ones that you're not even through line stretch and you're like, oh, this fucking thing's going.
Yeah, correct. And
Yeah.
nuisance malfunctions are a pain in the ass, but normally you can fix those.
Yeah. 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 Absolutely. So now, as you're getting more into it, you've been into it for a bunch of years now and into instructing. Where do you see yourself going in the future with the sport?
Still doing instructing, still coaching, doing like, taking people on their first skydives, then bringing them back, teaching FJC, and then teaching them how to skydive. It's absolutely fantastic. And it's so exciting to see their journey, from starting out as a baby bird, which they're like, holy shit, what the fuck do I do? To actually absolutely crushing it and, killing it in the sport. So
Sure. Sure. Well, and you're also branching out too, because you're working with Peregrine now, aren't you?
yes, that is correct. I'm a sponsored athlete. I've been sponsoring them for the past 6 years, and then it finally fell in my lap, and it worked out with Dave, and everything's moving forward with that, and it's been a fantastic ride.
I mean, how fucking cool is that, right? You get into the sport, just kind of like a lot of us, almost as an afterthought, and you fall in love with it and get into it and decide you're going to do all these things. And next thing you know, you get to say, I'm a sponsored athlete by a gear manufacturer in one of the coolest fucking sports on the planet.
Yeah, absolutely. It was fantastic because how I got hooked up with them is my instructor, Josh Colby. He was a sponsored athlete by Peregrine 6 years ago. And that's how I got my first rig. And then I loved their rig and then been honored and privileged to have such a fantastic rig that I've always been, pushing his product and trying to help that out. And it finally happened. And now I'm a sponsored athlete by Peregrine Manufacturing, and shit, I'm just
So now there's a lot of
ecstatic.
people out there that may not have heard of Peregrine because it's pretty niche. It started out in
Mhm.
a smaller region, and for the people that have it, I know that they absolutely love it. But tell people that haven't heard of Peregrine what it's all about.
It is a very small factory. Dave is up top, one of the most outstanding people that I've met. He stands behind his product. Everything's great about it. It's as you build your container online, you can watch it, and then once you get it submitted, it goes to the factory. Dave's going to send you photos along the way, so that way everything's checking out. And by the time it's done, you have a sense of what it is. I told Dave to stop sending me photos because I wanted to be surprised once it got to my apartment, which it arrived on my birthday. So thank you, Dave, for coordinating that. And you had no idea you did it. But yeah, the customer service is top notch. The fit, the feel, everything about it, it just hugs your body, and I can't complain about it. I've never had an issue. I love it to death, and I'm super honored to be a sponsored athlete.
Nice. Well, I know from I was lucky enough to have Dave on the podcast. God, it's been a couple of years now, and I got to dig into his story and his background
Mhm.
in skydiving and rigging and his direction and the lead that he took on a lot of the projects with Sunpath and the pedigree that he has in skydiving and in manufacturing. So when I did my digging to find out more about Peregrine and then talk to athletes that had been jumping it, I mean, I know that they fucking love it.
Yeah.
I aimed my good friend Olga towards them because
Yep.
I know that she was looking to really work with a quality manufacturer, and I was stoked to hook those two up. And it's awesome to see that he's got good people that really have a passion for the sport, pushing to get his gear out there. Because I know he just wants to fill his corner of the market and put out the best possible equipment he can.
Yeah.
And it's great that he's got people like you pulling for him.
Yeah, absolutely. And the good thing is his lead times are normally a lot shorter than everybody else. If you're looking for a brand new rig, at max, you're going to be 12 weeks out. Normally, he's 6 to 8 weeks on his lead time, maybe a little bit longer, but
Yeah, I was gonna
I
say, what
know
is the lead time is like 10 to 12 weeks or something obscene like that.
it was like 6 to 8. Now I think it was up to like 8 to 10, and then it's probably 10 to 12. So anywhere between that time frame, because I had a buddy that purchased one, and he goes, I already got my fucking rig. I was like, how long was it? He's like, 6 weeks, maybe. I was like,
Pretty
he's like, I
badass.
wasn't expecting that. He's like, I was trying to, figure everything out, get everything ready. And then he's like, it's here. I was like, fuck yeah.
That's pretty badass.
So
Well, that's the
yeah.
thing too, right? I mean, again, we're talking 29 years ago was when I bought my 29 years ago when I bought my first rig. And I bought my first rig over the counter at Paris Valley. It was a black Talon that, happened to fit me. And the first custom rig that I built, um, didn't take, I mean, I want to say it took 12 weeks maybe to get. But this was back in 2004. Um, Now the lead times can be a fucking year, and
Yeah.
it's kind of crazy. So, for a quality rig to come out that fast is pretty damn impressive.
Yeah, it's absolutely fantastic. I know the glide that I purchased from him after AFF, that one probably took about 8 to 10 weeks.
Nice.
And then with this sponsored one, it was a whole lot shorter. So, which worked out fantastic in my benefit. But ended up having to rush to get some things, but it all worked out in the end.
Well, sure. Well, fuck, man. That's let's give Dave a happy free plug. I think it's what is it? Peregrine Manufacturing Inc.
Hmm.
Com.
Correct.
They can go there and they've got all the shit up on the website and I've browsed through his design feature, which is really fucking cool because being able to see exactly what you're gonna have instead of fuck back when I designed my first rig, it was literally crayons and the drawing of the rig that I colored in myself to try and figure out what I wanted. So being able to do it on the computer is pretty pimp.
Yeah, it's absolutely fantastic. I know it works best with Chrome. And the good thing is you can go on design it. He's got the Glide and then the Falcon, which Falcon is the newest one, newest model. You can go in there, design it, see what your cost is going to be before you ever hit that submit button.
Nice.
There's no hidden fees in it either, which is outstanding because normally sometimes people will come back to you and be like, hey, we need more money. Dave's not about that. Dave shows you his price up front, and that's the price you're going to pay.
Yeah, gotta love it. Gotta love it. So, hey, more about you. For everybody that's listening, if there's some people that are thinking about jumping that aren't jumping yet that want to do an AFF, maybe somebody else wants to get strapped to you and have you toss a drogue for them, or they just want to come hang out and find out about any potential bodies in basements. How do they find you? What's the social media? What's the websites they're going to go to?
If you're on Facebook, it's going to be Grant B-O, or Grant Bowen. I've got two of them. I have one for skydiving and one for my personal Facebook, but it's all turned out to be personal Facebook works better because going back and forth between the two is just a pain in the ass. Instagram, it's GD Bowen 1012. And then that's all I got on socials. And then if you're looking to come skydive with me, come check us out at Music City Skydiving down in Waverly, Tennessee. It's about an hour and 15 minutes outside of Nashville. And if you're trying to get some foundation work here in Kentucky, bluegrassfoundationrepair.com.
Do you know the website for the drop zone?
MusicCitySkydiving.com.
MusicCitySkydiving.com. That's awesome. And so one more time, tell me I'm not going to see you on the news with a bunch of bodies in a basement.
Absolutely not. It's not going to be my house. It'll be me finding somebody's bodies.
Okay. That's all I'm asking, man. That's all I'm asking. Well, Grant, I'll tell you what, man, I'm thrilled that we were able to coordinate the time. I know you're a busy guy between jumping and the real world and all that stuff. So thank you for sitting down with me. I wish you all the best of luck to keep cranking, and I can't wait to see what comes next.
I absolutely appreciate the opportunity, and thank you for the call on your podcast.
All right. Cheers, brother.
You too. Bye.
Well, there you have it. Another episode of the Lunatic Fringe podcast brought to you as always by, well, wait, not as always, actually. Brought to you now by Gyro. Formerly known as NZ Aerosports, you'll head to gyro.com for their next level line of canopies. By Pussfoot, the Extreme Sports Collective. Head over to pussfoot.com to check it out. By Summit Parachute Systems, check out summitparachutesystems.com to talk to Jarrett Martin and the gang about kick-ass pilot rigs, rigging courses, and more. By Flyaway Indoor Skydiving, go to flyawaytn.com and check out all the cutting-edge stuff to come. By Pure Spectrum CBD, head to purespectrumcbd.com to check out their wide range of CBD products. And as for us, head to the lunaticfringepodcast.com to listen to any of the hundreds of episodes currently available, hit the link for our YouTube channel, pick up your copy of the Lunatic Fringe book or The Accidental Stripper, and get a sneak peek at upcoming guests. Once again, thanks for listening. We'll see you next time.